Hey, it's JB here. Welcome to the show. Today I did something crazy. I cut the cable. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show today. I hope you're doing fantastic. As always, this is more of a community than a channel, as I always say, and I would love to hear in your comments below to discuss this idea of this box that I have here, which is all my DirectTV stuff. It's all in there. So I decided to cut the cable. And what I mean by cutting the cable is, sending my DirectTV back. I have been one of the original, literally, subscribers to DirectTV since I can remember. I lived in Arizona, 16, 17 years ago, and I've had DirectTV ever since. And I've never even thought about cutting the cable or getting away from regular television. But the last couple years, my watching patterns have really changed. I find myself on YouTube more. It's one of the reasons that I created this channel is because as I was, I used to watch YouTube for music. I mean, that's what I would go there for. I'd put it on, or maybe some videos on my computer. But then as smart TVs came out, I started to utilize YouTube even more and watching it on TV, as a regular TV like program. The other thing that obviously came out is the Netflix and Amazon Prime. And right now I think I have HBO, Amazon Prime, and Netflix. So I have plenty of movies there. And then the thing that I got back into, which is older media, I'm actually watching Blu-rays and high definition DVDs because for movies, the sound quality is so good, and I'm actually utilizing those. So I've found myself watching less and less programming from the traditional channels. Now, it's interesting because if you think about this, like ABC, NBC, CBS, the things that I grew up with, I mean, are they dying? I mean, is anybody really watching that? Again, I'd like to know below, but I don't watch any of that news, or I don't watch any of that. I have no reason to consume any of that information. It just doesn't do anything for me. I don't watch the local news. I don't watch any of that. I get all my news from the internet, whether it's Google News or different types of, Miami Herald or the different, internet-based news systems. Now I'm 51, going to be 52 years old. So it's pretty amazing to me to see more people of my generation embracing the technology and getting rid of this type of stuff and cutting their cord. But it's amazing to me when I look at the cost. So I was spending around $200 and some a month. When you add that up, about $2,400 to $2,500 a month without movie channels, just for access to programming. Now you can get a lot of this programming through streaming and other means without spending that type of money. And I think maybe I'm one of the last ones that cut the cable. You may have done it a long time ago. Maybe you never even had the cable. But I think the dynamic is shifting. And again, it's one of the reasons that I wanted to come here on YouTube because I believe that this is a medium where you can connect and we can build a channel of interesting content that can help someone. And if you've thought about cutting the cord, it's kind of like, what would you really miss? Well, I think you would miss the news broadcasts, and for me, particularly sports. I'm a big Oakland Raiders fan, been for years since I was a little kid, and I didn't want to miss their football games. And DirectTV always had their games, but there are other ways to watch the games now. So it's a really interesting dynamic in the way the world is changing. I grew up when cable first hit in the 80s, and I could remember how exciting it was that cable TV came. Then I remember in the early 90s, satellite TV came, and we had DirectTV, and we had the ability to get all this programming. Now, the proliferation of the internet, we have so many abilities to go ahead and get programming that it really works well. And then go old school, which I think is funny, is I re-hooked up my Blu-ray DVD player. I was watching some 3D movies the other day and just engaging in that content without ever even turning on the DirectTV anymore or the Comcast. So for me, I'd love to discuss it in the bottom. Are these dying mediums? I mean, is there a place for cable anymore? I mean, I use cable for internet, but I don't use it to watch TV. Is DirectTV going to be around? I mean, I just don't know why somebody would pay for that programming when they can get it on the internet, or they can get it in other means, right? They can get other types of programming. But it's really an interesting dynamic, and I thought I would share it with you today that it's a kind of a life change for me as I cut this cable and I look at this box of DirectTV. I remember back in college, we had to run all the cables everywhere, make sure everybody had cable TV. And now here I'm cutting the cable, letting go of $2,400 or $2,500 that I don't need to spend as I watch it here at YouTube, and I watch my Netflix, or I watch my Prime Video, or I watch those different shows. It's an interesting time, and I would like to know your thoughts and what you see of the future here of tech. You know, do you see these channels continually going forward or not? And as always, hey, I appreciate you being a part of this. We're having some fun here. This is a place for different types of content. I'm going to continue to bring you energy and ideas 3 to 4 times a week on productivity and ideas and thoughts and lifestyle. But I'm glad you're here. And if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button to help the algorithm, that would be great. I don't even know if YouTube will like this video. But whether they do or they don't, I'm going to continue to create content for you. And if you hit that subscribe button, it helps us out, helps this community grow. And that's really what it's about. So my question for you today then is, have you cut the cable? Do you have cable TV, or do you have DirectTV, or have you let all this go? And I know we have an international audience, so I'd like to hear from all of you on kind of what are you consuming now? And I get this, we're on YouTube, so most people say YouTube, but it is a really interesting dynamic. So please let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.